Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. In today's video, we're going to dive into the inspiring story of Diep. From the moment she agreed to become James's secretary, to the struggles she faced with jealousy and sabotage at work, and how her talent and determination eventually earned her a well-deserved promotion to manager. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss out on more amazing stories coming your way. Diep's journey begins when she agrees to work as James's secretary, stepping into a fast-paced company environment filled with challenges. From the very start, she faces doubt and jealousy from colleagues who believe she is undeserving of the role. Determined to prove herself, Diep works tirelessly, learning new skills, double-checking every detail, and refusing to give up despite constant whispers and sabotage attempts. Her resilience shines when she successfully manages important meetings and projects, earning respect from clients and admiration from James. Even as some co-workers try to undermine her, Diep's competence and dedication speak louder than rumors. Eventually, James recognizes her hard work and promotes her to manager, solidifying her place as a capable leader. Her story is one of perseverance, growth, and triumph over adversity, proving that true talent always rises above doubt. In the quiet office, sunlight filters through tall glass windows, glinting off polished desks. James stands near his desk, his tone calm but direct. "Diep, I need someone I can trust as my secretary. Would you consider it?" Diep blinks, her fingers tightening around the pen in her hand. A rush of emotion swirls. Fear, doubt, but also a spark of hope. "Me? As your secretary?" she asks, her voice low, almost uncertain. James nods firmly, his confidence steady. "Yes, I know your potential, and I believe you'll do well." That night, Diep lies awake, replaying his words. Her heart races at the thought of stepping into a world of sharp suits, quick decisions, and endless tasks. She knows people will doubt her. She knows she'll doubt herself. But deep down, she senses this is her chance to grow, to prove her worth not just to James, but to herself. The next morning, she walks into the company lobby. The walls gleam with modern design. Employees rush past with files and laptops, and the air buzzes with urgency. Diep straightens her shoulders, trying to steady her breathing. She introduces herself at the front desk, and soon whispers spread among the staff. She's the boss's secretary now. Not everyone is pleased. Some colleagues exchange skeptical glances, their smiles tight. One whispers just loud enough for Diep to hear, "She won't last a week." The sting is sharp, but she bites her lip and presses on. She won't let them see her falter. Days turn into weeks. Diep pours herself into work, arranging meetings, preparing reports, learning to type faster than she thought possible. There are mistakes, yes, like the time she mixed up two contracts or stumbled while presenting documents. Each error invites snickers from jealous coworkers, but Diep refuses to crumble. She spends nights studying, practicing, and perfecting every skill until the sun rises. James notices her determination. One evening, after everyone leaves, he finds Diep still at her desk, typing furiously under the dim light. He pauses, admiration flickering in his eyes. "You don't have to overwork yourself," he says gently. Diep looks up, her eyes tired but resolute. "I have to. I want to be worthy of this chance. Behind her back, resentment simmers. A few co-workers, envious of her growing rapport with James, scheme to trip her up. One deliberately switches labels on important files before a board meeting. When James demands the correct documents, Diep nearly panics until she recalls her habit of double-checking late at night. She quickly retrieves the right file from her backup folder, presenting it just in time. The meeting continues smoothly, leaving the saboteur fuming in silence. Diep's resilience starts turning heads. Her efficiency sharpens, her confidence grows, and her polite but firm responses begin earning respect. Yet the jealousy doesn't fade easily. Another co-worker whispers that Diep only succeeds because of James's favoritism. The gossip spreads, a cloud that follows her every step. One afternoon, Diep overhears two colleagues sneering near the break room. She thinks she's better than us. Let's see how long she can keep this act. Her chest tightens, but instead of retreating, she walks past them with her head held high. Inside, she whispers to herself, "Let my work answer them." Her chance comes sooner than expected. The company prepares for a major presentation to secure a vital contract. James falls ill unexpectedly, leaving Diep to step in. The boardroom looms large, filled with sharp-eyed investors. Diep's hands tremble as she stands at the front, but as she clicks through the slides she had helped refine, her voice steadies. She speaks with clarity, weaving numbers and strategies with surprising confidence. By the end, the room erupts in nods and murmurs of approval. James, though pale, sits at the corner, pride gleaming in his eyes. After the meeting, he pulls her aside. "You are brilliant. From today, you're not just my secretary, you'll be the new manager." Diep's breath catches. The title feels heavy, unreal. Around her, whispers shift, from scorn to astonishment, from jealousy to reluctant respect. Some still glare, but others approach with genuine congratulations. For the first time, Diep feels the weight of recognition, not as someone who got lucky, but as someone who earned it. That night, she sits quietly by her window, the city lights glowing like stars. Her mind replays every obstacle, every insult, every doubt. And yet, here she is. Her eyes glisten as she whispers, "I made it. I really did." At the office the next day, the atmosphere feels different. Some still avoid her, but many begin to treat her with the respect due to her new role. Even those who once mocked her now acknowledge her skills. Diep smiles faintly, not with arrogance, but with quiet triumph. She knows the journey is far from over. More challenges will come, more people will doubt. But now she carries something stronger than fear, the unshakable belief that she can rise above. In James's office, the golden light of afternoon falls across his desk. He leans back in his chair, studying Diep as she reviews a stack of reports. There's a softness in his eyes, a mixture of admiration and pride. "You've come so far in such a short time," he says. Diep looks up, her expression calm but glowing. "It's because you believed in me when no one else did. I didn't want to waste that chance." James smiles, his voice low but sincere. "And you didn't. You've proven not just your worth, but your strength. The company needs people like you." Her heart warms at his words. She thinks back to the girl who once doubted herself, who feared every whisper and every shadow. That girl still lingers somewhere inside, but now she walks alongside a woman who knows how to fight, how to stand tall, and how to shine even when others try to dim her light. The office hums with the rhythm of work, but within Diep, a new rhythm beats stronger. Ambition, confidence, and resilience. She's not just James's secretary anymore. She's a leader, a manager, and someone who has finally begun to carve her own place in the world. Diep's promotion spreads quickly through the company, sparking both admiration and envy. The announcement comes during the Monday meeting, when James, standing confidently at the head of the room, declares, "From today forward, Diep will serve as our new manager. She has shown exceptional dedication and results, and she deserves this recognition." Applause fills the room, though not every pair of hands joins in. A few claps are slow, reluctant, while others are half-hearted. Diep stands, bowing politely, her heart pounding. She thanks James and the team, her voice steady though her palms sweat. Inside, she knows some will cheer her rise, while others sharpen their knives in silence. With her new role, responsibilities expand. Diep now oversees project timelines, coordinates multiple teams, and reports directly to James on critical decisions. Her desk shifts to a larger corner of the office, but she refuses to let pride cloud her focus. Each day, she arrives early, leaving only after the last light dims. Her leadership style is firm yet kind. She listens, guides, and takes responsibility when mistakes happen. Slowly, some colleagues begin to respect her, though whispers of favoritism linger. One day, a team member named Lon approaches her desk, frustration simmering. "Manager Diep," she says pointedly, "it's impressive how quickly you rose. But people are saying it's only because of your closeness with James." "What do you say to that?" Diep pauses, meeting her sharp gaze. For a moment, old insecurities tug at her heart, but she steadies herself. "People will always talk," she replies calmly. "I can't control what they say. What I can control is my work and the results we bring as a team." Her tone is neither defensive nor weak, but resolute. Lon blinks, taken aback by her composure, before walking away without another word. Despite obstacles, Diep thrives. Projects finish ahead of schedule, client satisfaction improves, and James entrusts her with even larger tasks. Yet not everyone is content. Two jealous colleagues secretly plot to undermine her authority. They alter figures in a financial report, hoping the error will embarrass her during a client presentation. The day arrives. As Diep reviews the numbers, something feels off. She remembers her habit of checking each figure late at night, cross-referencing data from multiple sources. Quickly, she spots the inconsistencies. Instead of panicking, she calmly presents the corrected numbers to the clients, explaining the adjustments with confidence. The clients nod, impressed with her clarity and professionalism. James, sitting beside her, watches in quiet admiration. Later, in private, he asks, "How did you know?" Diep smiles faintly. "I've learned not to take anything for granted. Double-checking saves more than just time. It saves trust." James nods slowly, his pride unmistakable. "That's why I made you manager." The failed sabotage spreads through the office like wildfire. The conspirators, caught when Diep discreetly traces the changes back to their accounts, are reprimanded. It becomes clear to everyone that Diep isn't just lucky or favored. She's capable sharp, and prepared for every challenge. Still, leadership brings loneliness. Some colleagues keep their distance, their envy too heavy to hide. At times, Diep sits in her office, staring at the city skyline, wondering if this constant battle for respect will ever end. But then she remembers James's faith, the encouragement from his mother, and the strength she's built through every trial. One evening, after a long day, James invites her for dinner. The restaurant glows warmly, filled with the aroma of sizzling dishes. As they sit across from each other, James studies her with a mix of admiration and concern. "You've been carrying a lot," he says softly. "Are you holding up?" Diep nods, though her voice trembles slightly. "It's not easy. Some people hate seeing me succeed, but I won't give up. I want to prove that I earned this place." James's smile is steady, reassuring. "And you already have. Don't let anyone take that away from you." His words sink deep, strengthening the flame inside her. That night, as she walks home, the city lights blur into a soft glow, and she whispers to herself, "This is my path. No one will push me off it." Weeks later, the company hosts a celebration for a major client contract secured under Diep's management. Laughter and chatter fill the hall, glasses clinking in cheer. As James raises his glass to toast the team, he pauses to highlight Diep's role. "None of this would have been possible without her leadership," he declares. The room erupts in applause, this time louder, fuller, and more genuine than before. Even those who once doubted now clap wholeheartedly. Diep stands, her cheeks warming, her heart swelling with gratitude. She thanks the team, her words simple but heartfelt. "Success isn't just mine, it's ours. Thank you for trusting me." Later that night, James's mother pulls Diep aside. Her eyes shine with warmth, her voice soft yet proud. "You've grown so much. I knew you had this strength inside you." Diep bows her head, emotion welling. "I was afraid at first, but your encouragement and James's faith gave me courage. I'll keep working hard, no matter what." The older woman smiles, gently patting her hand. "That's all anyone can ask, and I believe you'll go even further." As the celebration winds down, Diep gazes out the window, the city lights reflecting in her eyes. She recalls the whispers, the doubts, the sabotage, but also the victories, the resilience, and the unwavering support from those who truly believed in her. Her heart feels lighter, anchored not in fear, but in determination. She knows the journey is long and challenges will continue. But now, she walks with unshakable confidence, her steps steady, her spirit strong. Diep is no longer just a secretary, no longer just someone trying to prove herself. She is a leader, a manager, and a woman who turned obstacles into stepping stones. As she leaves the hall, James falls into step beside her. Their silhouettes stretch under the soft glow of street lamps, side by side. The night air hums with quiet promise, a reminder that no matter the trials ahead, Diep is ready. She has carved her place, and nothing can take it away.